Well, hello there, lovely people of the world. This is Nick from Yardman Garden and Arts TV. And at this time again, I'm coming sharing this video. I felt like the first video I take, that wasn't enough. With all this going on and all what I've did, I just wanna show you guys an update of it before I continue to show an example of finishing project. You know what I mean? And the whole reason behind this is for whole weed prevention. And as you see, I go as close around to the body of the existing plants that I have. This beautiful flower here, I realize I give the root space to to breathe, so that when I add the dirt and mulch, with all the heat and all that, the box and I create and doesn't suffocate the root of the plant. That's why I give it all that space, so that I just get natural dirt around that. If small weeds come up between that, I just pull it easily. But with all what's going on, I try to give all the tree them some room space, There's some raspberry growing up there. So yeah, just an example of what I'm doing, and how the project is turning out. I couldn't go with a whole long video. As you guys realize, I'm not going with a whole crap and editing of video, it's all raw and uncut at the moment. So yeah, this is what I left off from last time, or from last video. So I went all in between this space with thick layer of cardboard, all the way down the line. Look at that. I did do a bit of cutting, not even much. Most of these I still just, bent and curved the board in this own way of, way that I curved the cutting of the land, to create my garden space. As you see, these two areas kind of more round. So yeah, I just fold the box. Some area I had to cut in, But yeah, anyway, I just want to show you an example. I'm not gonna cover it all with dirt and mulch today, but I'm gonna show you an example of what I'm doing and where the direction I'm going. And here I have some mulch, that I bought yesterday at Ace Hardware. So these are actually not what I'm gonna use either. I'm gonna go to the garden center and buy a whole big, pile of dirt, topsoil and some compost as well in the mix. But I'm gonna use these as just example. These I would maybe use in my small area of my garden, for my vegetable and so. And I would start with these and then I would add my own compost. But anyway, I'm just showing an example of what I'm doing here, or what the future look is gonna be like. And yeah, I have some old mulch here from years ago. It's funny how shrink they are and how compost they already been doing. But yeah, these are also some old soil that I had, so I'm gonna use it to, pour over some of the layer, and also the whole idea of keeping some of the boxes, around the edges, keep so that it doesn't get blown away or anything. As I'm not gonna finish the whole project today with soil and mulch. But yeah, the sky is the limit. I use this tool here for my edging. Didn't have to use the machete much, actually. This machete need to be sharpened. But yeah, it's an example. Look at all that paper, all that plastic paper I got from it. So these I didn't want to go into the soil, So as you know, plastic can compost. So yeah, I'm gonna just show you a little example of how I'm gonna cover the area. And yeah, whenever you see this video, like, share and subscribe to my channel. And this is Nick from Yardman Garden and Arts TV. So yeah, this is what I'm gonna be doing. Like I said, these are some old soil that I had. I'm just gonna go in some of the areas, use it and cover the boxes from coming up, So like I said, not a whole big project of covering with soil and mulch today. But I know all this area is the soil is gonna help hold this down. With the rain coming, just gonna be a more protection, a more sturdy base. And when I'm ready to put all my soil and my mulch, I know that this is not gonna go anywhere. I look more rain come on it and all that. I'm just doing that. Yeah, I'm really excited for what this project is, looking to be and turning out. Like I said, I've been fighting with this area for years. Basically since I came in this, on this property 2013. I started gardening and started, planting stuff. But this whole area just always seems to kill whatever I plant. If I don't keep after it, I may plant stuff that is, annual, and they will do me for the season. But anything that would stay perennial eventually will just die with all the extra weed that will come up. So I never take the time and stuff, and or to say I should have the time, it's just that I never take the time to do such a big job. I would clean the whole area, I'll clean away from site, all the extra weed and grass. But I never did this whole big project of, creating this, basically a screen to protect, the grass from coming back and all this. And as you see, this is kind of more to a natural way of composting, closer to even organic, using this cardboard. I could go to the store and get, Roundup and all that weed killing stuff, and that would just spice my land in the long run. So, what I'm doing is gonna be organic. In months from now, I can come after I put my soil and mulch. I can plant, vegetables or whatever. It's just gonna open up a whole big area of growing for me. So it's a whole new project. And I did save some of these as well that I kept for the last. Right? Even so much layer already, I don't have to be doing this, but I did keep this to go like as you see. Even just more layer. And as you see all that cardboard I use, it can't be too much, It's gonna compost back into the soil, so the more you put it, just you're gonna prevent more weed from coming back later on. But yeah, this here I'm gonna show you an example. What I'm gonna be going about. Let me get my knife up here. Alright, so I went to get my knife. Look at this soil. I buy this at Ace Hardware. This, so wet. When I was buying it, I tell the guy like, why is it so wet? But that's why sometimes this soil doesn't work at this store. I saw the name of it. I thought it had something to do with peat humus is called. It's not really nothing to do with peat moss really. So once it's named peat humus, I just thought maybe it had some peat moss in it. Everyone know peat moss is a bit more expensive, and it's an organic component we use to loosen the soil and keep the soil more moist. But this is not peat moss. Look at this. This is like basically mud. Until it was outside, it got wet. Anyways, I'm gonna use it. Yeah, look at that. If you would come and use this in your garden, eventually this would just turn into like a clay. It's not necessarily clay, but this type of soil doesn't have much looseness into it, when it look at it. So you plant your stuff into this, it's gonna die eventually. When these things start to dry up, it's just gonna turn into a solid concrete thing around your soil. So something like this you definitely would wanna use, I have some over the other side. Too bad I didn't bring up some, but definitely some more loose and mixed of like even peat mortar or some perlite. But I did get some soil which is more like between soil and wood chip. So you definitely don't want to loosen up this, and get it loose and more aerated, before you plant stuff in this. But this is definitely not ready for planting in this stuff. But so I know that this area is just a whole development and building up the area. Not to worry about that right now. This is more a better texture soil. As you see, this is more loose. Like some I squeeze it, it doesn't stick together so easy, See the difference? So when you're choosing soil, you want to make sure your soil is more loosened and more luminous. Got the difference? It's like mud. I could go make a mud ball or a clay, anything from this. So, see this? Yeah. But anyway, we have more time for that and featuring soil and explaining more about soil. This is just a whole different project at the moment. So yeah, if I had all my soil ready, meaning my whole pile that I'm gonna get, from the garden center. Not necessarily garden center. There's a soil place around about 3 miles away around the corner here from us. I'm gonna go and get a whole big, maybe they deliver in a truck or whatever. There's gonna be a whole project, Same thing as how I add as much cardboard to prevent the weed. I'm gonna be adding a whole thick layer of soil and then my compost. So as you see this soil, you get this other bag. So yeah, I couldn't buy all this bag for just this project. Like I said, I first bought these to do in my garden, not necessarily to throw here. I wouldn't say waste because it's a part of my yard and it's an investment as well into my own health and benefit in the long run. Because I never used to grow vegetable here, but the room for growing anything here in the future is open, with all this space. And I know the whole weed prevention. And I did use a whole ton of layer of this. Some people probably wouldn't use that much, but then it would just be more cause and more reason for grass to come back too easy later on. This, I wouldn't say it's gonna be 100% proof for weed prevention, but as much, proof as if I did only take soil, and put here and then mulch. So imagine how much protection this gonna create, after the, before the soil and all that. So this is just a whole new, a whole level of, prevention, and I'm excited. It's definitely gonna be a happy ending in the future with all the results I'm gonna get. When I come and plant my bulbs and anything through here again, my whole perennial, vegetables are, cause you have some spice that is perennial, that will come back, like thyme, oregano and all that come back. I even have basil come back over here again if we don't have a bad winter. They don't necessarily come back basil. It's more like an annual. But perennial flower, I love to see those, things that create, butterfly and the bees them love it. And like I said, I had them over the years plant, but they eventually died away with heavy harsh winter and the weed that always tangle around it. So this now I'm gonna prevent it. I don't have to do so much work throughout the season because I do work 5 days a week, So I don't always have a whole ton of time for gardening, So this is just gonna be a whole future help and a prevention for me. But yeah. I put most of this style here. It's just an example to show you how my result gonna look. I'm creating a whole space where eventually when I come and tap through here, especially when this get water soak and start to rot and compost after all the weeds suffocate, and stuff. I come through here, it's just gonna already be a thick layer of good soil to plant. I'm gonna put mulch and all that. So yeah, look at the example what the future, what I'm saying is this gonna be. This was some old soil. We're gonna use this to hold on the edges. is all on the edges right now, so during the week, as I'm not gonna do it right away, you know, these stay, especially with the rain looking to come, just gonna help hold it down so that the wind doesn't take these away, you know. So sometimes it's good saving all soil, you know what I mean? You can use it for stuff like this, where you don't necessarily need all of that nutrients. But yeah, these are fun. This here. Imagine these was the biggest mulch that you could find at, you know, the hardware at one point. It was all that wood chip. But for years of leaving it around there, maybe 4 years, you know, it's already composting. Look at it. You hardly can find wood chip in it. So this was all that wood chip. It's actually maybe that red tone one, you know, or maybe I chose the dark one and not the red one with the dye looking in it. But yeah, this was the big wood chip. Look at this. It's so light. This is how much it shrink and, you know, compose itself from years of just sitting in the driveway and sitting outside. So yeah, this was a whole big giant bag of mulch. Or yeah, you know, that wood chip mulch. You know, it was around the side where even roots was growing through it. But you know, but this project is definitely fine. So yeah, you see, look at that. So this would be my mulch layer. You know what I mean? So soil, look how deep that is. You know, plus, you know, the already existing soil underneath was good soil, but too much weed, you know what I mean? But yeah, this is gonna be my whole result coming through the whole era. You know, not sparing on either soil or much, because I know the whole future of what this is gonna be. I'm excited about it. You know, I had a big pile of worm, you know, around by the driveway. Anywhere there's anything like, you know, anything you put along like concrete or whatever, you always have these worm, you know, come to the coolness of it. Which is, you know, that earthworm good for mulching and, you know, benefit of your soil. So I had a whole handful that you know, I throw off in here. Maybe I can find them all, I know where this spot is. But anyway, you know what I mean, I saw them around there. They probably would have had to crawl somewhere else to find a new spot. Or some probably would have died. You know, but it's not so hot around on the pavement, so they would have been fine for now if they would have escaped and find somewhere else to go. But yeah, I figured that they would do great in here. So I said, why not bring them, you know what I mean? To give them a new life to start mulching in my you know, my new space. Look at all this root that was coming up from the ground into the bag from sitting there, which is fine still. I mean, I maybe just throw it in here, you know, so that the sun finish, you know, kind of kill it. These are not gonna go anywhere, because these are, you know, not really live root. You know, they're just gonna compost and mulch back in the soil. And it's crazy to see how these shrink. I mean, I've been having them for a good time outside, exposed to the element, you know, all the different weather, winter, you know, sun, rain, shine, you know, whatever. But it's the way to see how much they mulch and compost themselves, you know, from just being in the bag, it will not used for the soil as well. So yeah, I don't want to put too much of this stuff, and this is really the mulch that go after the soil. So you know, like this soil, when I use this bag, look at that. That's why you have to be careful when you buy soil, you know. I mean, cause this just, I mean, it's good natural element, you know, that found in soil. But this could kill certain plants. You know? I mean, if you plant certain plant in this, it could cause mold and that green allergy, as you see out this. Especially if you decide to use something like this in like an indoor plant mix. You know what I mean? This wouldn't be a good idea. Good for outside with a whole, you know, mixture of other stuff. But look at that. That's just naturally. organic component coming up. All that green allergy. Look at that. Good healthy stuff looking like something that you'll see like on a bonsai, plant root. Look at that. It's like a whole species of something growing here. All different category of, of plant in just this one layer of thing. And this just came from the bottom of the backer here. So, whatever this peat hummus is, I don't think I might buy it anymore. I just went there the other day and it was reasonable. I think it was $1.75. I figure that it's just something to add and help out with what I'm doing here. And it's actually good that I'm using it here, because I don't think I would want to use this maybe in my flower bed. I'm in my vegetable bed, which is around the other side. It's not a big space, but I wouldn't want stuff like this in there unless I'm gonna mix it with so much other good component. But this, this doesn't cut it. But it's gonna work for holding on my cardboard. I feel like most of the edges are already holding on. Just look at here so that I don't have wind. So yeah, I felt like this was an interesting part of my whole project. And I thought I'd share it with you guys. So anybody that sees this whole project here interested and find it useful can use some of my tips and my idea. Because this isn't necessarily a new idea, my idea in any means, I mean? I saw even actually, not since recently, but in the past I've seen, people using cardboard for organic, composting and mulching and just prevention of weed. So this whole project though is kind of my idea of just, going all out in this way, cutting around, the perimeter of the plant root, the existing plant root. Because look at this. I wouldn't probably wanted to bring it probably would be fine to bring the cardboard all the way, touching it. But I feel like this is a better way of just ensuring that the plants stay healthy, while I add the soil, then the mulch. With all that heat that's gonna create, this doesn't, try to kill the root of the plant. So, this is just a whole future of benefit for me and this plant. And just, less work for me in every way. Earlier I was taking a break, thought it was gonna rain, I re-energized myself, drinking some Armour drink and some spirulina I put in it and some moringa, organic moringa. Refreshing, all this day of hard work. So, continue taking care of yourself, planting food, growing. I feel like this year this is just gonna be so beautiful by the end of this summer and my whole project and my whole idea. So I'm gonna show you around a little bit, after I finish talking here. So like I said, this is Nick from Yardman Garden and Arts TV. This is just in my element and my whole comfort zone, If it's not art, I'm in the garden. And yeah, I thought I'd share this with somebody that find it useful and can use my idea. Or, do something that, creative and something that helpful in their garden and don't have to fight with weed forever. To me this is weed be gone, without me using any stuff like Roundup or any poison. So yeah, this is Nick from Yardman Garden and Arts TV. Subscribe to my channel, like and share whenever you see my videos. And this is a little bit longer than I wanted to, but how it goes sometimes. And like I said, kind of raw and uncut. But yeah, yesterday I did the whole cutting. I'm gonna come out. Even the cardboard I may not have to use around this area, cause may just use the dirt and mulch, and this area would be fine, like around the tree roots and stuff. But along the perimeter here, I fight with it for years, so I know this is a whole benefit to me and preventing all this weed from coming up. So yeah, and like what I did earlier with all this extra dirt that I put, just help hold on that cardboard from blowing up by the wind. Alright, Yeah, and this whole area, look at that. You know, ready to start growing stuff already. You know, food, vegetable or whatever, or flower. But I'm not gonna plant anything yet. I'm gonna give it some time for even the cardboard to start compost into the land and kind of rot away. Alright, this is Nick from Yardman Garden and Arts TV. Coming with you with this cool and interesting video. I feel, you know, look at that. I'm gonna be excited coming in here picking raspberry this season, not having to walk through weed and anything like that. Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna continue around the pyramid around there and finish it off. And I'm just excited. You know what I mean? It's a whole project and I feel like it worth every moment of it. Alright, catch you on the next video. Stay tuned, there's a lot of interested thing to come, where people can see and learn from it. Alright? This is just me having fun in my element and see where it takes us. Anyone join me on this journey. It's gonna be finding and seeing a lot of interested content. So alright? Peace and love to everyone of the world and keep taking care of each other and keep